Detectives assigned to the St. Catherine North Division have named several individuals as persons of interest in connection with ongoing investigations into a number of serious crimes committed in Spanish Town. The police say they believe that the individuals may be able to assist the investigators and are therefore asking them to make contact with the authorities immediately. They are being asked to report to the Spanish Town Police Station or the nearest police station by 6 p.m. today. The persons are Chris of Shelter Rock, Backlands, Sanjay Smith, otherwise called Shortman Bro of Shelter Rock, Prince Flemings, otherwise called Avalanche of Jones Avenue, Malachi McLean, otherwise called Cripple of Lakespen, Draco of Lakespen, Lime Tree, Zoom of Backlands, Bikey of Shelter Rock Backlands, Denzel Hayes, otherwise called Toughman, Fabian Wright, otherwise called Ronnie, and Shaquille Batik. Anyone with information that can assist the police in locating these individuals is being asked to contact the Spanish Town Police at 876-984-2305, Police 119 emergency number, or the nearest police station. Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Elizabeth, Floyd Green, says relief efforts are still ongoing in his constituency following last year's passage of Hurricane Beryl. Mr. Green was speaking on Cliffviews Online on Friday.
I think anytime you have a disaster of this nature, it's always challenging managing that part of it. The Ministry of Labour clearly would have gone through and would have collected names and would have done the various applications, and definitely over 1,000 people would have gotten direct support. But not everybody, because I would hazard that we definitely had in excess of 1,400 households that would have been damaged. And I've already raised with the Ministry of Labour and the Minister of Labour and the Prime Minister that there are still some people who have not received support. There are still some people in need of support. We have tried from our own resources as Member of Parliament to add on. Some of the support takes them to a particular part they need to go further. Some of them haven't got, and we've tried to provide. But it's a process.
The Category 4 hurricane left hundreds of homes damaged and affected multiple sectors. Mr. Green says Minister of Labour and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr. has informed him that more allocations are on the way for persons still in need.
My last discussion with the minister was the Monday before last, and he said that they're looking to do an additional allocation to help those people, because again, some of them have other means, but you don't know. In other words, the family might see it, so they did get damaged. The family see that they got damaged and jumped to their thing, but they're still going to accept what the government has done. The Minister of Labour has been clear on this. The wider coverage and how much officers they have on the ground to cover that proved difficult. But I think in the most part, our people have done very well. We had good support from NGO partners as well. And the office, my office, continues to provide that support. So it's a process.
Floyd Green, MP for Southwest St. Elizabeth. Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, is again raising concern about the country's declining birth rate. Dr. Tufton says the decline will have serious effects on the health sector.
We need people to mind the healthcare sector, and we're now facing a crisis around the healthcare workers that we need in a population where the sick profile, for want of a better word, requires greater intervention. Health right now is bordering in some areas on a crisis in terms of healthcare workers. The projections suggest that we need some 20 million or so healthcare workers in 2030, and the production, for want of a better word, of those healthcare workers are not having areas fast enough to catch up with the demand that is there.
According to the Jamaica Population Health Status Report for 2000 to 2022, the country's fertility rate is falling below replacement population level. Over that period, the crude birth rate declined by 10.2 percentage points. Minister Tufton says the issue has been compounded by the migration of skilled workers.
What is happening is that there's a giant sucking sound that is pulling all our very qualified and effective healthcare workers from Jamaica into the North American markets and in some instances the United Kingdom. 500 or so of our specialist nurses migrate each year on average, leaving our neonatal units, intensive care units, operating theatre units, accident and emergency units in very short supply, and impacting the quality of service delivery by virtue of not having enough bodies and no goods and so the net result is a shortage, and a shortage that's getting worse.
And we apologize for the quality of that insert. That was Dr. Christopher Tufton, Health Minister. He was speaking at the launch of Jamaica Population and Sustainable Development Policy on Friday. The Ministry of Labour and Social Security is advising the public that the application portal for the Solidarity Programme is open to members of Parliament. Individuals interested in applying for the Solidarity Programme are encouraged to contact their respective MPs who are authorised to make referrals on their behalf during this phase of the rollout. The ministry says it will continue to provide further updates on the progress of the programme as additional phases are implemented. Members of the public are reminded to rely solely on official government communication channels for accurate and up-to-date information regarding the Solidarity Programme and other ministry initiatives. The ministry says it remains committed to ensuring that assistance is delivered to Jamaica's most vulnerable citizens in an inclusive, transparent, and orderly manner. The Transport Ministry is rejecting claims that motorists are required to pay increased fees under the government's new digital motor vehicle registration and fitness certificate. In a release on Friday, the ministry says there has been no change to the standard of annual fitness fees. It says any suggestions must now pay 3 to 5 years of fees upfront is false and misleading. The ministry is warning that any individual spreading misinformation or attempting to charge motorists beyond the lawful fees will face investigation and disciplinary action. Transport Minister Darrell Vaugh says any public servant demanding upfront payment of multiple years of fitness fees is acting outside the law. The digital platform policy change will take effect July 21 this year. It will eliminate the government's reliance on costly certificate papers embedded with physical security features and the production of decals. The certifications will now be issued electronically, eliminating the need for physical documents. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the Pedro Plains Irrigation Expansion Project in St. Elizabeth is another instance of his administration fulfilling the visions of PNP government. The Prime Minister was speaking at the project's groundbreaking ceremony on Friday.
They were the government for 18 and a half years straight and did nothing. Oh, I know what I say. Some people are a little bit, uncomfortable. But you can't argue with the facts. I spend most of my time administering your government, trying to fulfill and complete projects which were dreamed up of by founding fathers and former prime ministers. We have gotten them done.
The project will draw from Black River surface flow to expand irrigation access to more than 6,000 farmers across 4,000 hectares of land. However, the Prime Minister says achievements such as the one that he had launched or spoken about earlier are often ignored by members of the electorate who aren't concerned with national development.
I spend most of my time dealing with the big issues, the issues which many of you here think are intractable, meaning we will never solve them. And there's a danger in doing that because, unfortunately, our electorate does not pay attention to the solutions of the big problem because we have been in this long struggle, and so everything is reduced to, I still don't have water in my house. In other words, everything is reduced to my personal benefit versus how is the national picture evolving.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. On the international scene, President Donald Trump has announced that the European Union and Mexico will face a 30% tariff on imports to the U.S. from the 1st of August. He warned he would impose even higher import taxes if either of the U.S. trading partners decided to retaliate. The 27-member EU, America's biggest trading partner, said earlier this week it had hoped to agree on a deal with Washington before the 1st of August. Trump has this week also said the U.S. will impose new tariffs on goods from Japan, South Korea, Canada, and Brazil. They are also starting from August 1. Similar letters were sent this week to a number of smaller U.S. trade partners. And now to sport, Rory McIlroy says he is now close to his Masters winning form after putting himself in prime position for another Scottish Open title with an imposing third-round 66 to share the lead. The Northern Irishman began the day 4 shots adrift of overnight leader Chris Gutterup, but ended it alongside the under-heralded American on 11 under. The duo take a 2-shot lead into the final day after the English pair of Matt Fitzpatrick and Marco Penge both bogeyed the last card, 1 under 69s, and dropping to a share of third alongside America's Wyndham Clark and Jake Knapp. And now for a recap of the top stories making the news at this hour. St. Catherine North Division names several individuals as persons of interest. Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton again raises concern about the country's declining birth rate. Transport Ministry rejects claims motorists are required to pay increased fees under the government's new digital motor vehicle registration and fitness certificate. I'm Andrew Cannon. You can find the news on our website at nationwideradiojm.com and on the Nationwide app available on Google Play and the App Store. News is next at 5 tomorrow afternoon. But stay tuned. Coming up next, we have Sports Nation Live. Well, we should have had Sports Nation Live with Wayne Walker and Alric Swaby. I'm Andrew Cannon. Good afternoon.